So we will start with some questions right away, and I'm very sorry you have to stand up again. Imagine you are 15 again, and you have to decide what kind of career you want to pursue. Now, maybe you take a career personality test to figure out what skills you have and what interests you have. So we are going to do exactly that with you right now. So I will give you some topics, and you decide whether you find them interesting or not. Okay, topic number 1. Variety in Portuguese linguistics, dialectological and sociolinguistic perspectives. If you found this question helpful and now know more about what you want to do with your career, please sit down. We have a second topic, which is numerical methods for the simulation of acoustic, electromagnetic, and elastic waves. Now you can sit down if that helps you. So for all of you who are still standing, you would probably have some difficulties finding a career because these statements were actual questions from such a test. So there are some problems with these tests. Now you can all sit down.
So this is a problem that many young people face. So even with all available tools, over 50% of students are not confident with their career decision.
So what is the problem with these questionnaires?
Well, so first of all, they're way too complicated because they require prior knowledge, for example. So most people don't understand them. The second problem is that they're not complete. So, for example, the questionnaires oftentimes don't ask about your personality and also about your skills. And the third problem is that they are not personalized. So, for example, if you are very interested in a certain area, they don't ask you a certain questions or specified questions related to your skills and also interests. So, in order to solve this problem, we created an online solution called Pathfinder. And this online tool can also enable everyone to find a tailored path in terms of their career way. So
let's find out what career you would like. We will start with the CareerBot. This is an AI tool, and the advantage of this AI tool is that it can ask you personalized questions in a conversation. And you cannot just click at what answer you like the most, but you can give your actual answer. So this CareerBot takes information about the Big Five personality, your qualifications, skills, and interests. Through neural networks, it maps them onto the career options. On the next page, you can see all the careers, and they are ordered in a way that you see the ones that you matched with most on the top. Each career has a short trailer, and then more extensive general information, needed skills, personal opinions and tips from professionals. And at the end, you find a bit longer video about the life of such a professional. And if at any point something is too confusing, you have your CareerBot from the beginning that helps you.
So where does this information come from?
Well, it has been collected from professional associations for the respective jobs. And then it is also analyzed regarding biases. And I know that that in the audience there are some parents. So if you see your child struggling and you want to help them, there is a sub-page for that. there is also a page on how to address biases.
Yeah. So, talking about the problems of such a bot, there are certain issues that can appear. For example, biases in the data that are collected, yeah, because of the fact that the biases have to be accounted for, yeah, and also the chatbot needs to be trained on how to handle sensitive topics and situations, yeah. So further research is completely needed, yeah. And also there are also issues related to data protection. So, for example, it is very important that the data has to be transmitted just one-sided. Yeah. So that means that the profile can only be linked to the user, but not the other way around. And also, the server has to be encrypted. So, why should you use our product? It's accessible, accurate, and engaging. So we are confident that our website can empower students to figure out their ideal career path. Thank you for your attention. Yeah.
Sophie and Martin, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. You definitely also surprised me, and I, again, very much like the design and also the aesthetics that came with it. And now I would like to call the rest of the team up on stage.
Ooh.
So working with this team was, I have to say, I mean, I loved working with both teams. So working with this team was very, very nice. I had a team full of very thorough thinkers and researchers. So they digged deep in the different aspects that we discussed at the beginning and came back with very interesting and highly relevant questions in regard to the impartiality of the information provided on the site, also how to treat the data. They thought about what kind of research could possibly be done once the platform is designed. So there were a lot of different considerations, and we had really interesting discussions about that. And it was also a very harmonious team that worked well together, discovered each other's strengths and how to cooperate. So it was just a really wonderful collaboration that I could experience working with you. Again, thank you very much for a great performance and a very interesting result. So now it's time for Q&As. Who has a question? Yes?
Nice presentation. Congratulations, I think. My question is, how did you adapt the solution to the needs and preferences of different user groups, such as high school students or college students or people in career transitions?
For that, it's useful to use like the chatbot that we explained with artificial intelligence that basically is going to try to ask you some initial general questions such as what hobbies do you usually do, what activities do you usually enjoy, what are your surroundings, and starting from those common or background general questions, we are going to go like to more specific, adapting to your specific path as we get more information. That's the advantage from other like fixed questionnaires that can't do that.
I think there was another question over there.
Thank you very much for the presentation. My question is about how do you ensure that the AI and its the recommendations are not based on like discrimination? Because I mean, the training data you use probably has some flaws in it, and we're living in a flawed society. So how do you make sure that it doesn't repeat those structures we have and we live in?
Yeah, we basically use a existing language model and fine-tune it and use transcripts of career counseling conversations. And yes, there has to be some bias into it, which is inherent to every conversation in some way. but we try to, in the training data, like limit as much bias as possible, but we won't be able to limit all bias. That's true.
We have time for another question over there.
Okay. I really like your solution. It's an improvement of what's already there. I would say a big improvement. One thing I'm asking myself, it's not too bad, but it would be really cool. Have you thought about how you get the data from jobs that are very small or very niche? Because they probably do not have the resources to make a good video. Therefore, they don't have good marketing, and this may not be as appealing as big jobs to the young students.
Yes, that's a problem. Maybe it didn't come across that strongly in the presentation, but we think of our platform as a multinational project, because training in a chatbot or a language model consumes quite a lot of resources. Yeah. And we'd basically provide the platform, and the jobs would have to be filled by each country themselves. So that's a bit of out of our scope in some way.
But I think there's also one interesting thing, which is that people who usually have those niche jobs are very aware that those are niche works, and that are not that common. So they are normally really trying to help other people. This is like the tool for them to try to reach people. Like for instance, if I'm doing like some very specific job, which is not available, I know it's very hard for people to understand it. So I'm more willing to help. So I think that could be pretty much covered.
We are running out of time. So thank you very much again to the team.
Yeah.